Welcome to Inside the BACB, the official podcast of the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. In this episode, Kyle Jordan, the BACB's Director of Testing and Accreditation, joins Deputy CEO Dr. Melissa Nosik to discuss the role of subject matter experts at the BACB, including who they are, how they're selected, and what they do.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the BACB. Today, I'll be your host. I'm Melissa Nosik, the Deputy CEO at the BACB. Today, our topic is subject matter experts. I've asked our Director of Testing and Accreditation, Kyle Jordan, to join me today for this discussion. Hi, Kyle.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Kyle, could you share a little bit about your history before we get started and, maybe what you do for us here at the BACB in your role?
Absolutely. Well, I am a Northwest Tennessee native. My background is in education. I started my career in K through 12, where I taught middle and high school for a number of years. And in 2009, I received an opportunity to move to the Washington, D.C. area, where I entered the higher education industry. And after working in that industry for a number of years, I found my passion for examination development and maintenance, which led to me working in the certification industry. My role here at the BACB is really to ensure that the BACB credentialing programs are informed by the practitioners that are currently working in the profession. And it's a joy, actually, to be surrounded every day by passionate individuals. And I would also relay that the same positive feelings that I received while working in K through 12 have still very much been present while working here at the BACB. So it's a very special place.
Yes, it is. And I love the use of the word passion there. We have a lot of passionate individuals in this profession.
Absolutely.
And so it's been a pleasure to have you on board here. So just to provide an overview of why we're here talking about SMEs and the role they play for the BACB today is because they are mission critical for the organization. So Kyle, as you mentioned, SMEs are what inform our standards. And it's really important that our standards, examination, et cetera, come from behavior analysts. So that's why we're here discussing this today. We've had more questions than usual recently about SMEs and their activities, how they're selected. And that's why we wanted to share some additional information. And thank you for bringing your expertise to the discussion today. So before we get started, I'm just going to say that my introverbals around subject matter experts or SMEs, we also refer to them as SMEs, or we may even say SMeetings, which are the meetings where SMEs are present, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll try to stick to SME, but if SMeeting...
If it comes out.
If it comes out, it comes out. It's really exciting that we get to share some additional information about the importance of this critical activity for the BACB as an organization. Okay, so Kyle, the question I hear most frequently about SMEs is related to the title and what the word expert means. Can you share with our listeners where that title comes from and what it means?
Sure. The term subject matter expert is a part of the certification industry's nomenclature, and it means an individual who holds the credential or has met professional milestones that demonstrate their qualifications to hold a credential. That said, many of our SMEs are actual experts, veterans with many years of experience. They have a wide range of seniority levels on our examination committees. And we also have a number of SMEs that serve in ethics, appeals, and in our requirement development activities as well. These individuals are generally more senior and more experienced.
So another point of lore in the profession is that only BACB certificates can serve as SMEs. Can you talk a little bit about the qualifications? Like, you're the person responsible for reviewing the applications and composing the work groups in ways that are in alignment with our accreditation standards.
Oh, absolutely. Well, just to stipulate right off the bat, anyone can serve as a SME. They do not have to be a certificate. They simply need to have an interest in the industry and that, again, passion.
Yeah.
Where the word passion is going to be pivotal.
Gotcha.
And behavior analysis is larger than our credential program. So we definitely seek expertise from individuals that aren't certified.
We're sort of unique too, because a lot of our growth has happened in recent years. So I would imagine that there are a lot of individuals that are practicing behavior analysis and could lend expertise to the work that a subject matter expert does, but they may not hold a credential. So what you're saying is anybody can serve as a subject matter expert.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if you think about it, if there's no contingency for having the credential, then there wouldn't be a need for it. So those individuals who
That's right.
have that passion and have that interest, they're certainly qualified as long as they've met some of the other qualifications that we look for as well. And just to touch base on some of those, we do have an online application that we ask that everyone fill out in order to be engaged in this process. We ask specifically on that application, why do you want to be a SME? And that essay portion is extremely important for this process.
I'm sure.
We look at academic history throughout the application process as well. So we do collect information on that.
Ooh, why do you look at the academic history? Because we get that question a lot.
Oh, it's important because we just don't want too many SMEs representing one particular academic program. So it's very important to just have diversity representation with academic experience as well as professional experience.
Ooh, that has been something that has occasionally been a challenge, right? With the growth of our profession, it used to be that, the number of university training programs has grown over the last decade. If I'm correct, you look at the number of years somebody's worked in the profession to have some diversity among groups of experience. So some of our SMEs that have been working in the profession for 10 or 15 years, it's likely that they came from the same cluster of academic training program.
Oh, absolutely. And again, we just want to be mindful of that academic experience.
Gotcha.
So when we are putting together a committee, it's just one of those components that we need to make sure is not overrepresented in the group that we establish.
That makes a lot of sense.
In addition to academic history, I would just point out that we do collect a CV so that we can make sure that there are no restricted activities mentioned on that document, and make sure that there are no conflicts of interest. So that's another pivotal component of the application process as well.
What's an example of a conflict of interest that is the most common that you see with applications?
I would say teaching a prep course.
That makes sense.
Right.
So exam preparation activities, that makes sense because if somebody is writing the questions for an exam preparation experience, it would probably be really difficult to discern between questions that they wrote here at the BACB versus questions that they're writing for their own exam prep materials. That makes a lot of sense.
It just hits a little too close to home.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that those individuals don't get trained too thoroughly in the art of question development and then take that to their training program. So we have to monitor that.
So you're composing, Kyle, a work group. Say we're doing BCBA item writing. What are the key variables that you're looking at? So you've mentioned academic training history is just one thing, but NCCA, right, has standards around. NCCA, for our listeners, is the accreditation body that the BACB's programs are accredited through.
Sure.
So they have standards related to these work groups. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yes, we do look at many factors when putting together a committee. And actually, as I briefly spoke about the application, actually each question on that app in itself is actually a reflection point to determine feasibility. So for example, we do have 3 standing committees for RBT, BCABA, and BCBA that require specific skills and skill sets. So we want to staff those committees as appropriately as possible. And so NCCA does provide specific guidance on that. And actually, there's one standard in itself that addresses panel compositions that is extremely important. And if you will, and if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and read directly the standard so it gives everybody a little bit of context.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Standard 13 is, again, titled Panel Composition, and it stipulates that the certification program must use panels of qualified subject matter experts to provide insight and guidance and to participate in job analysis, standard setting, and other examination development activities. And within that standard, there is some essential elements that must be covered. And one of those is, Section A that says each panel must represent the relevant characteristics of the population to be certified as the program defines them. The process of recruitment and involvement of SMEs must prevent the undue or disproportionate influence of any individual or group. And so that's where we really look at some of the other characteristics that are important to the process, such as, making sure that it's geographically diverse. We want to monitor areas of practice as well.
So one of the cool things that I hear you saying here, and you're the expert on certification everything, but we get the question a lot, why did the BACB do? And I guess the better question should be, why did the SMEs decide?
Right.
Because they're the people that are driving what the requirements are and the examination content overall.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to listen to them. And again, those are those passionate people that are informing us. And the practitioners really lead the way. So we have to listen and digest what's been said and let them guide us in our next steps.
Well, that's awesome. What a good experience people have when they're out here doing activities with your team.
And when you see a diverse panel brought together and everyone's working towards an objective and goal with the same mindset, I mean, it is a special situation, and you definitely get to see that play out. And that's, again, why diversity is so important, because everybody's got something to bring to the table. And so, again, just one small component, I mean, being a rural person myself,
Me too.
we have rural representations on our panels, and it's just lovely to see rural and urban come together and discuss how their situations play out and how that affects the examinations.
Yeah, I love it. So, Kyle, I see you over there with some data in front of you. Do you want to share with us some of the SME data?
Absolutely. Well, just to let everyone know what a passionate group of people, again, that are involved in our programs, we have had 895 submissions for SME positions here at the BACB. So again, it's just overwhelming to see that. And again, with my background and having previously worked with some other certification organizations, this is unprecedented to see.
Really?
So I've just, I have colleagues who are also in the industry who are fighting and scraping and
to find volunteers?
To find them. Yes.
Really?
To find that engagement. And so to have 895 submissions since January 1st, 2019, I believe is when the application went live. It's such a blessing to see. And so it gives us such a wide variety of people to choose from.
Yeah, I remember at a recent certification convention, people being surprised at the number of volunteers, and it didn't mean much to me at the time, but it sounds like it's generally a struggle to get people to volunteer their time. I mean, it's unpaid time that they're leaving work to dedicate to helping the profession in this capacity.
And we just don't have to worry about those recruitment endeavors. We get to just move straight to the work, which is great. Wonderful. But just to let everyone know, we do have also 169 active members serving on the 3 standing committees for each credentialed program. And so that equates to about 19% of the actual submissions.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I encounter regularly people that have submitted an application and just haven't been selected for a committee. Because people like this activity and enjoy participating in it. If somebody's submitted an application, they haven't been selected or contacted yet, how long do the applications stay in our queue?
They're there indefinitely. We want them there to be able to always access, in case not only do we need to fill a position in one of the standing committees, but just in case there's an ad hoc project that comes up where we need a group of people to come together quickly. So, for example, the Board of of directors may request that a certain standard be reviewed. And so
Yeah.
we might need to pull together a work group really fast in order to deal with that.
And so the software that we're using for this endeavor is pretty cool because you can quickly log in and look if you're looking for SMEs with a certain area of practice expertise.
Correct.
You can filter everybody that has submitted an application, and it'll tell you, we have 30 SMEs in the system that work in education or in behavioral gerontology, whatever the area might be, if those are the experts that you're looking for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great.
It helps us be much more efficient in our process to use a platform like that where we can really pull together a working group.
That is properly composed real fast.
Yep.
So when individuals are filling out the application, it's really important that they pay close attention to those variables since they're filters that we use to select the appropriately composed work group.
Yes, I would again, the application's pivotal and really every component of it is used in order to potentially pull together a group. So it's I just want to make sure that everyone takes that application seriously, and every portion that they fill out, is definitely a component that we utilize.
Yeah. The application is on the BACB website. It's available anytime. Is that right?
That's correct.
There are no downtimes. So somebody can fill out an application at any time.
That's correct. I mean, we do try to do quarterly recruitment endeavors in order to make sure that we're getting people to go and fill out that application.
Oh, yeah. So people have gotten emails recently, and I've gotten feedback about the requests that have gone out more frequently than we used to. Yeah.
Sure. And we just want to make sure, again, that our database remains robust, and that if we need, again, to pull together a committee in an expedited way, that we can do that efficiently. And it helps to make sure that as many people who want to participate can feel like they can participate, and that we're adding them to the group. So it's a family.
Excellent. I love it. So one more aspect of the meeting. So you've already mentioned right now we have 3 committees per credential, but we have some ad hoc committees that are brought together. So that essentially means that if you have applied and you are selected as an SME, you could be serving just for one meeting or several years of service, depending on the type of committee you're selected for. For the people that might be engaged in an activity that is multiple years long, what does that schedule look like? Are they required to travel? How much time commitment?
Yes. Again, our standing committees are 2-year terms of service. So we ask that those 3 standing committees per credential really do commit to that time period.
Okay.
And we try to have at least 2 on-site meetings here in Denver per committee or per credential committee. So again, if someone's working for RBT and they're in one of those standing committees, they should plan to be in Denver at least twice a year.
Gotcha.
And so we try to plan our dates out, I'd say a year in advance, where we try to provide that sort of notice so that our SMEs can really coordinate and make sure that they're available.
And the BACB for these volunteers covers the cost of airfare and hotel for the days that our volunteers are here in the Denver area.
And we try to just take care of them as best we can in all endeavors. And I hope that any of our current SMEs that are listening would certainly support that statement.
Yeah.
And hello to all of you.
Kyle, that's awesome. I'm sure they're listening too. And man, SMEs are always reporting how good of a time they have when you are hosting them here at the office. So that's excellent. So is there anything else that we want to cover while we're on today?
And just one more food for thought. For those individuals that would like to participate and who can't feel or can't commit to an on-site trip to Denver, we do have virtual work opportunities and work groups where we, again, compose a group in order to tackle a project online. And so we use our item-based platform in order to divvy up assignments and projects. And we ask that the individuals involved in those really stay committed. And we try to engage on many different levels for that remote work. So it's an opportunity for them to participate as well. For those individuals where travel is not an option.
Very good. Thanks so much, Kyle. And thanks for joining us for this discussion today. Thank you to all those listeners out there. Again, if you're interested in being in a meeting or joining us here in Denver to contribute to the profession by being a subject matter expert for the BACB, again, log on to BACB.com and fill out one of those applications.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. And please fill out that app. Join us. Join the family.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode of Inside the BACB. Say goodbye, Kyle.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Inside the BACB. Don't miss future episodes. Subscribe now.